When a few months ago TILTA released a float system, I realized that is a great solution for all gimbal problems. However, I had no money for it and the TILTA Float was still unavailable. But I love this Rs2 idea so much that I built it myself, which you can see in my previous episode. It works perfectly and I still highly recommend this solution to everyone in a similar situation. But if you can't build it yourself, then TILTA Float seems like the right choice. Let's check it out. I guess everyone who has already ordered it feels very disappointed with the delays. I don't know what the reason is, but after a long mail conversation with guys from TILTA, I got one for test. And this is not any kind of sponsored video, but honest review. My first impression, you get a lot of stuff for this price. Don't get me wrong, because 1,400 is a lot of money, but for the price you get vest, spring arm, carbon fiber post, base plate for Rs2, battery plate, power cable, wireless control module, monitor bracket, counterweights, pendulum, phone mounting brackets, carrying case, even tripod adapter. About the quality, there will be more to say after a few months of use, but the first impression, it looks really solid. Everything comes in a nice carrying bag, but much more interesting is what we found inside. It is very small and has a great design and seems to be very solid. I still don't know how, but you can put 10 kilograms on it, which is a really impressive result. Adjusting the strength of the arm is the same as in most spring arm, you don't need any tool for this. The spring arm is attached to the vest with a 40mm RE style connector on the right or left side. The connector is super safe and rock solid, but it is a small detail which in my opinion could be simpler. Because if you are a single operator and want to fix something on set or change the lens for example, you will need to take it off, but then you need to find the right balance again. So I think some quick release adapter like on my old vest will be better. Many support systems have a full body vest, but in my opinion this type of belt is perfect, because you just put it on very quickly and you are basically ready to shoot. Of course, it's not as comfortable as a full vest, but you can also attach a new back support module and additional shoulder strap. I put even a white harness into my vest because I had one. On the first day of testing, with a little break of course, I was wearing it for about 6 hours with the 8 kg kit with no pain at all. A really great feature is the mounting plate built into the back, which you can use in many ways. This is one of the greatest benefits for me because I made an adapter that turned the entire vest into a two-handed support system that I will show you in a moment. The only thing that I don't like is the belt has no buckle, it has only Velcro. You can easily and quickly put it on and take off, but for my self-confidence the buckle would be really okay. I solved this problem myself by adding an additional strap because the belt is very easy to modify. Looks fantastic, carbon fiber, super light and durable. Handle is long, there will be no problem with the most complicated movement. A brilliant solution is the power cable which is inside of the post. You connect the batteries to the bottom and you have power output for Rs2 on the top. There are NATO clamps on both sides for Rs2 and for the battery adapter. In my previous episode I mentioned that I'm not sure if the TILTA battery adapter can be adjusted in all directions. Unfortunately in this test version I don't have this kind of adapter, so I made it myself, but I have great news because I know that TILTA has already made a directional adapter that will be included with every float system package. We need a cross connector like this because if, for example, you only have one battery or two with a different capacity and weight, then correct balancing is very difficult, almost impossible. The top gimbal mount is also a NATO rail. It can only be adjusted in one direction, but in this case I don't need a directional plate because, as you remember, if the Ronin is perfectly balanced, the center of gravity is on the center screw. Here we have a great choice of float system power. You can choose between V-mount, gold mount, TB50 or original battery. You have a battery plate and a cable for each version. I also modified the base plate and now I have a 20 voltage output for additional accessories and camera. With the original Rs2 battery you get a great adapter, power cable, extra weight and a pendulum adapter that works like in a $1 million Rs2. What's brilliant, you can use the original Ronin tripod, but I do not recommend this with a super heavy set because the Ronin tripod is quite small and probably was not designed for that weight. I also have to mention, because it is extremely important, that the float system is more versatile than you think, because you can easily use other gimbal or even the camera itself. I put on the Ronin S with the original grip and it works great. I think it is good news for users of all types of gimbals. Many of us have been waiting for it because now you can use it in a car mount, cable cam and in many other situations. Besides, you can finally use RS2 with a focus puller, which is a big deal for everyone. It is small and handy, we mount it in a special holder, it also has an adjustable phone or monitor clamp. You can also control the nano focus motor from it, so if you have a 3D focus system, you can use the additional motor as iris control for example. Remember, to power the motor you need a GoPro battery. No matter what type of battery you have, you just need to attach it to the bottom using a new cross-dovetail plate. Next, put the NATO rail to the Ronin base plate with 2 screws. I recommend you to balance RS2 on the hand grip, it will be easier this way. Put the Ronin on the adapter, mount the stiffener, connect the power cable to the battery and to the base plate. Here I will show you my way. I made a baseplate side marker which shows me RS2 center of gravity. It is exactly in line of the large holes. So when I put the Ronin on the adapter, basically all I want is to match the center of the baseplate with a center of the adapter. I'm not doing anything else there. I will finish balance only by adjusting the bottom adapter. Next step is to balance the post. We will definitely do it on a tripod. You have to decide where you want to set the center of gravity of the entire post. It will depend on how you want to use it. For example, if you have a lot of space and want to take a shot like a small camera crane, you can extend the post and then the center of gravity will be lower. But if you are in a tight space, you can reduce the length of the post, but then you have to raise the center of gravity. So basically remember that by moving the center of gravity, you have to adjust the length as well. Also, if you want to shorten the post even more, you can add an extra contour weight. For me, the best position is about 15 centimeters between the handle and the base plate. Roll balance. We will do it in 2 steps. Right-left balance first. If the post starts to move in one direction, you have to move the battery to the opposite side and find a sweet spot. Super easy. Next, we must find the center of gravity of the counterweight. The perfect balance we are looking for is that if you turn the post to the right or left, it will slowly come back to the middle point. We want this because if you want to go from high to low mode, the post won't turn by itself. So if you turn the post to the right or left and it goes back too quickly, it means that the battery center of gravity is too low or too high. You will probably need some time to learn this. My advice, try to be patient, it takes some practice. Also remember that if you are doing such precise balancing, sometimes you only need to move the adapter a millimeter. The last thing is the balance of the spring arm. We need to put on everything and set the tension of the spring. Then, if the wall post goes to the right or left, you have to adjust the first adapter. And if it goes forwards or backwards, you need to change the position of the adapter that connects the vest and the spring arm. Perfect. I also recommend you to watch the super cool RE Trinity tutorial by Junior Lucano. You will find all the important tips there. Of course, Ronin balancing is different from Trinity because Trinity does not have a pan motor and it's a totally different kind of gimbal, but in general, we want to get a similar result in balance, so it's definitely worth seeing this. Guys, remember my first impressions of using a Ronin on Steadicam? It's the same here. You put it on and you don't want to take it off. It's a completely different level of using gimbal. After a few days of use, I don't see big differences between Float and my old support system, but I have to say I'm very surprised by the spring arm, which is great. Visible steps, you can forget about it. So here are my conclusions. If you have your old Steadicam or have a chance to buy it really cheap and you have some technical skills, do it yourself, absolutely, I highly recommend it. But if you are not able to do it yourself and if you have extra cash to spend and you need the accessories that Float system gives you, then don't wait, buy it now. It's really worth every dollar in my opinion. What about me? In general, I don't need it because I already have a similar one, but I would love to have these additional accessories. To be honest, it would be quite difficult to create a similar set with this amazing load capacity and with so many accessories and wireless control module for less than $1,000 even from used parts. And there is one more very important thing for me. As you know, I really like universal solutions and, as I said, the TILTA vest can be very easily modified. So So I had the idea to create a universal support system. I made a simple adapter and I am very excited about it because now I have two completely different support systems in one vest and it works great even with the super heavy set that I usually use in my work. So I think this could be a really great deal. Just compare the price of the other support system and you have the answer. Anyway, I have a few more ideas for that, but this is a completely different subject that we will talk about in the future. So thanks for your time, hope it was helpful, thanks for so many cool comments and see you in the next episode.